What's up, all you beautiful, gorgeous, sexy people out there, you observant people know that Frosty, this isn't NCAA football, it's actually Madden. Well, yes guys, it is Madden, but today we're going to be talking about NCAA football and the possible return of EA Sports' franchise, NCAA football in 2016, if it's going to see its return to glory, return to gamers that some of us football fans are desperately needing and wanting. So some of you guys may not know, the last time we had an NCAA football game was actually on last gen. 2013 is when they ended it with NCAA football 2014. I think Denard Robinson was on the cover of that game. I might be wrong on that one, but that's the only NCAA game I actually didn't purchase. So today I want to talk to you guys about, actually this past Tuesday would have been the release of NCAA football 16. And it probably would have had Marcus Mariota on the cover, maybe even an Ohio State player. It would have had someone like that because they release it every year on the second Tuesday of July. But unfortunately, due to circumstances in the courts, in the court of law, we haven't been able to have an NCAA game these past 2 years. Now, some of you people may not know why that is. Some of you guys may be a little bit younger, but basically, I'm here to break it down for you. What happens is, former players, I believe way back in 2013 when Carson Palmer was on the cover of that NCAA football game, former players decided all the way back till then, decided they were going to sue the NCAA and they're going to sue EA Sports for using their likeness. I'm using quotes here, air quotes, likeness. Likeness means basically EA Sports used their jersey number, they used their home state, they used their height, their weight, they used all this accurate information, but what they didn't use was their name. That was the only thing you didn't see about these players. So everyone pretty much knew who it was. They knew what player EA Sports had in there, but they just didn't have their name. So these former players decided that they're going to sue, try to get that money because they are using their likeness. They are making a profit off of their namesake pretty much. And unfortunately, that cost us the NCAA football franchise. But today, as I'm speaking right now, which is why I'm bringing you this video, that lawsuit, that court settlement is about to be wrapped up. It's supposed to be wrapped up today, July 16th, 2015, everything's going to be done with that. And what's going on is you have the NCAA has decided that the conference can now decide how they're going to separate money, how they're going to do. They can basically, conferences, the Big 12, the Big 10, the Pac-12, they can all decide on what they're going to do separately as far as rules go, like fractions, stuff like that. They can decide how they're going to separate and how they're going to pay athletes, which because the paying of the athletes could happen pretty soon, that's why we may see an NCAA football game next year or the year after. Now what's going to happen is they could actually do it and probably start doing it in a way to remove that likeness, a way to basically a loophole in the system is that EA Sports could go in there, have their dev team, have them make the game, have them make this brand new, spanking new, next gen NCAA football game, but instead of doing what they did before, which was using the player number, using their height, their weight, using the home state, they could just go in, make random rosters, and then have us, the community, go in and have people crank out rosters that are legitimate, that are accurate to the current year, the current roster on each and every team. That's pretty much a loophole. That way, they wouldn't have to pay all this money back. I believe the settlement was for about $40 million for EA and a company, I think a licensing company that works with the NCAA. I might be a little bit wrong on that part. But anyways, what's going to happen is, if it could happen, this is all theoretical, this is all speculation, but EA Sports wants to actually create another NCAA football game, especially right now with all this hype around college football, with the college football playoff and the ratings from last season. They're going to be wanting to capitalize on this wave of fandom coming their way from college football, and what's missing right now in the marketplace is a college football game. I believe like 3% of current college football athletes are getting paid from this lawsuit. Only 3%. So that means 97% of your average college football player isn't getting paid. They don't even get to play NCAA football. And a lot of these players are wanting NCAA football because they're in the off season or they're training. All they're doing is training right now. And then, July comes around and they don't have anything to play. This is a dead month and they're in their off season. They want to play some football. Everyone wants to play some football. So in order to do this, obviously they'd have to, unless they go into the conferences and try to pay them money to be able to use that likeness, and then, that's the only way they probably use those names. other than that, there's probably not a chance of them being able to really do that unless they went the route of, creating that random roster, randomize it, and then having us go in and do all that stuff. So that's the way they would do it. That's probably the only way they could do it without using that likeness. But as I said, with the NCAA having to pay college football players pretty soon, I believe some football players are already getting paid in the conferences, being able to decide on who's going to get money and all that stuff. That means that we could actually potentially have an NCAA football game next year. It just depends on what route EA Sports wants to go with that. I don't think we're going to see NCAA gone for long. It's been 2 years already. A lot of us sports gamers are dying and begging. We want you, EA gods, video game gods, please give us this game back. Because right now, guys, only playing Madden as a football game is getting pretty lame. It's a bummer. It's a drag. I hate it. And I am a big NCAA football fan myself. I like the college game a lot more actually than I like the NFL game, just because I'm in a college football town. I live and breathe Ohio State football. And as an Ohio State fan, not being able to play with my Buckeyes is kind of killer. It's kind of a drag, kind of killing me. So anyways, guys, there is the possible chance, as I said, of EA Sports releasing an NCAA football game next year. As I missed a field goal, that was BS. But anyways, they could release it next year. All they have to do, as I just said, was randomize the rosters if they're not going to be able to get the likeness thing issued, settled, and then us, the community, let us download rosters from online sources like Operation Sports. Let us download that, and that way we can put it into the game. That way there's a loophole. We're not using anyone's likeness. We can have the game. And I believe the other way is we have to go to the conferences. EA Sports would have to go to the conferences and pay them money to use their players' likeness and all that stuff. I believe when this case was going down way back, probably in like 2010, 2011, somewhere in that range, maybe in 2012 or 2013. So within the past 5 years, guys, is when the conferences actually withdrew their licenses, and the NCAA withdrew their license from from EA Sports. So that way, when they made the game, they couldn't put the Big Ten in there. They couldn't put the Big 12. They couldn't put any of these conferences in there, and they couldn't use the NCAA logo, or they call it NCAA football, because all that support, all those licenses were withdrew. And obviously, they get sued for copyright infringement and all that stuff if they use all the school names like the Ohio States of the world, the Texases of the world, the USCs, the Floridas. They couldn't use those names because the licenses were withdrawn from them. So they're going to have to get back. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to sell all this likeness issues. And hopefully, guys, we're going to have a new game next year of NCAA football. Stay frosty, guys, and I love you.